Hello students, we're going to be creating this fairly simple cabin today in Rhino. Here we have our completed floor plan and dimensions, and we also have our elevations for the drawing. They're already flipped up vertically so that we can reference them when the time comes to manipulate the surfaces that we're going to create. So we're going to go ahead and get started by doing the polyline command to create our walls. We're just going to take this line, we're going to offset it 6 inches, which is the thickness of our walls. Now we're going to select both of those lines and we're going to plane our surface. When you first start a Rhino file, it's not going to be in shaded view. So if you make the surface while in wireframe, it will look like this. So make sure that you change this to shaded. And then now we can select those curves that we don't need. We can just go ahead and delete them. So then we could take our surface that we created and we're going to extrude that up the highest point of the wall that we have here in reference. As you can see, the roof is slightly sloped, so we're just going to make it go all the way up to the highest point, which would be 11'9" and 1/8 inch. So we will use the blue ball in between the arrow in the gumball settings here, which will extrude our geometry upward, our desired height. Now that we have our geometry created, we can go ahead and we can start creating our inner walls and connecting those. So we're going to go over to ghosted view, and we're going to go ahead and just create these interior walls. For the purpose of this video, our walls will go pretty much all the way up. However, you can edit these to be however you'd like. We can put a roof in there or ceiling to make that more understandable. So here's our first interior wall, and actually our only interior wall. So now that we created that wall, we're going to go back to shaded. We're going to select both pieces of our geometry. We're going to Boolean union and merge all coplanar faces so that we get a nice smooth box here. So the next thing that we can do is we can create our door opening here, or both of our door openings, so that we can get a nice understanding of that. And according to our elevation, basically our door 7 feet tall up to the trim, but our trim piece is 1 inch. So won't actually be that tall. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our box for the door. To shaded view. And then we have to take this extrusion and we actually have to use the green box here to push it out a bit more so that we can cut the entire profile from the door. And we're going to Boolean difference. And then there we have our entire cutout, which we made a slight mistake. This door cutout comes a bit further out. There. Now we're going to Boolean difference again. And there we go. So now that we have our door cut out, we can actually start cutting out some of these windows as well, in which I like to do a trick, which is I like to use the geometry that we have already. And basically we're just going to use that to create everything that we need from here. So I'm going to take a box, a vertical box, on the Windows layer here. And this box is going to be in the exact same spot. And we're going to Boolean difference it. And we have our the hole for our window here, which is the exact same silhouette as this one here. And then we're going to repeat that process one more time here. So now that we created a profile for this box, we can make a copy right to the one right next to it. And we're going to Boolean difference again. Both of these. And now we have our cutout for those two windows on this side. Next, we can go over to our larger window here. We're going to make our vertical box once again. Which comes all the way through our building so that we can make our cut with our Boolean difference. So as you see, we've made some progress here. we're gonna go ahead and cut out all the rest of the windows, and then we're gonna go back to add trim to the doors and windows, and then we're gonna move on to our roof. And here, we can go ahead and actually create our door. Just so that's there. Okay, so we have this tiny window here. And once again, we have to pull this all the way through our geometry so that we can do our Boolean difference, which will give us our cut. And for the last two windows on this side. Okay, nice. So here we have this so far. And then, we're gonna go ahead and spice things up when we add the roof and we cut our walls to our desired length for our roof because it's slanted. So we can start creating our trim now. So I'm going to make another layer for that. So what we can do here is take this line, and not that one, and this line, and then we can offset. Oh, I'm sorry, we should have grouped them. Just create a new line in general, which is totally fine. So now we take this and we offset 1 inch outward, and then we can close this. And then we plane our surface it, and then we can make the extrusion 1/2 inch. That's how much it's gonna stick out. So we can take that line and delete it. Oops. Make sure you delete the curve. And there we have our trim created for that one. As for our window, we have a frame around it that appears to also be 1 inch. So we're gonna actually repeat that process. And we're gonna do this for each and every window and door. I'm gonna grab the surface and extrude it 1 inch. And this one here we're gonna actually fix up because it shouldn't be this way. So we're gonna create a box in here. And we're going to stretch this box slightly out more. We're going to Boolean difference from our walls so that it's nothing in here now. We're going to go back to our drawing for our reference, and there, this is our original outline for the box to make the window. And so this is going to be the actual like frame of the window, and this would be the trim. So there is a 1/2 inch frame in here, so we can make that pretty simply with the P line once again, or a polyline. And then this time we're gonna, instead of offsetting on the outside, we're gonna offset on the inside, 1/2 inch. And then select both lines, planar surface, and then delete the curve. This is gonna come out. We're actually gonna take this one. We're gonna extrude it back like that.
I have one feeling she's asking them to do the stone cottage too.
So next we're going to create our centerpiece in the window, in which we could use the same silhouette here. So we're gonna make a vertical box. And we're going to make this box 2 inches. So we can take this, we can move it back here. And then now we can make our trim. But this time we're going to offset on the outside 1 inch. Just like the rest of them. Grab our other curve, plane our surface, delete the curve, grab the surface, and it's gonna come out 1/2 inch. And so this is what our window's looking like right now. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to our large window, which everything is just going to be the same process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our polyline. We're going to just create our trim. For this one, actually, we'll create a frame as well. We'll create a frame for the rest of them. So we're going to take this line, we're going to offset it 1/2 inch on the inside. And we're going to select both of these once again, plane our surface, delete the line, take our surface that we have. We're going to use the red ball in the middle. We're going to drag it to the edge so that we get our extrusion. This is a short way of extruding all the way up into the edge to create that frame piece. And we're going to redo the polyline. We're going to offset that 1 inch on the outside. Select both, plane our surface, delete the curve, and red ball in the middle of the arrow will extrude us 1/2 inch out, and it'll give us this window here. Alrighty, so we have 3 more windows to go. Offset 1/2 inch to the inside, offset 1 inch to the outside. Select this one and this one, plane our surface, delete this line now. We're going to take the surface back, this geometry back. We're going to select this curve, plane our surface it, and then delete the curves, take the surface, and then we're going to go negative 1/2 inch because our arrow was faced the other way, but it doesn't affect the window.
You would get to. Jalen, this is Paulina. Have you met her?
No, I'm not. I don't think so.
She's teaching interim and AutoCAD. And I told her that she saw your hours, so she pointed them out to the students.
Okay. So now we will recreate this window here, just the same as the other ones.
He's doing all the videos for Rhino.
We're going to offset 1 inch on the outside. We select both of these lines, plane on the surface, and we can delete our interior line. We could drag this back into create our frame.
How long does it take to download?
Take both of these lines, plane our surface, delete the curves, selected surface. There we go. So now we just have one more window to do, which is the same as the rest of them.
Or not. Let's try it out.
Just gonna create our whole silhouette.
So that's the area we're doing. Okay, so here's our back. Over here. More computers. So those are all preloaded programs, but these are not, these are computers that belong out.
And so we've completed the majority of our cabin here. So now we're gonna work on the roof, and we're gonna clean up
So here's the code again.
everything else here. So it appears that
Alright, they asked me something I could remember.
our roof
So I can plug
has
this
a
in.
slight overhang.
And these aren't preloaded, and I can turn this on right now, charge up all these computers, or they, but they should be able to download it directly onto here. They can't take these home without talking to me.
So I'm gonna use the surface command, this one.
But there's enough. Big enough for your whole class. So I'll charge up as many as I
With
can,
our surface.
and then there's extra chargers sitting along here. And then you can just get these out and then download it, and we're gonna take the class. All right?
Would they be able to print as well in these computers?
They could save it as a PDF. And
So,
and then they can print.
What I'll do is I'll move this part of our
It'd
roof
be on a
to
hardwired
match
computer to print.
Yeah, but that's easy, we have that.
this portion
So what
here.
I'll do is I'll turn all these on. And you might want to ask them if you have a computer at home, just bring it.
Then we're gonna go to our side view. I'm gonna move it into the right location, which is right here.
And, what I would do is, if you have to do this, have them give you their driver's license and stick in there.
Okay.
So that you get it.
So now that we have this, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side to get our sideways. Because
These haven't been.
I will take this.
So these are computers that I loan out. So they're not for people just in intro, they go to the library, but anybody who's in AutoCAD, Revit,
This
or design
part here,
can borrow one of these.
come here.
So you can tell people that, you know, the computer, you know, at home.
I can select this
Does
part.
anybody have their own computers?
Yes.
I could go to the top view
Medium,
and I can extrude this
5,
all the way until our line hits.
or no, the other one first. And then-
And so we have our roof so far, which is slanted, slightly slanted. However,
Okay, so that'll be your backup plan.
we will take
Take a few minutes out of your class.
this,
Yeah, but I think it's better.
we will
spend an
extrude
hour
our
for the-
For IT to come.
walls
Yeah.
up there.
for the people that are getting.
That's not good.
Well, also, hopefully they are fixed, because they were thinking.
We're going
That's how
to
you know you have this is an
try to merge
I'll
all
charge
complete our
this up.
faces.
Yeah.
And then
You
split,
can tell somebody if they want to borrow a computer, they just have to, they have to come
and then we
to
can get rid of our extra pieces here.
And then they get they don't feel that over the whole semester.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll figure out how to move it back up.
And we've pretty much created our cabin here.
And maybe you can load up,
We could take some looks at this.
have it download. Show.
We've completed our cabin.
Because, at least that's on there.
And we have one more wall to create, or one more door,
YouTube.
one more opening.
But
So our opening is gonna be from here to here.
Yeah, somebody kind of did the.
We've cut our opening, and now we can create our sliding door. Just so that we can get a visualization of how that looks as well. And here we are. We have our finished cabin. With our slanted roof. I hope you've enjoyed.